getting started is the hardest part. So when it comes to like literally anything you want to do, whether it's starting a business, starting a family, starting your homework, just like anything you want to start, anything you want to work on, or even life itself, we can use the analogy of a roller coaster. So I'm gonna draw a roller coaster right here. And you know, roller coasters could look different, but most roller coasters have some sort of hill. They go up and they go down. Then there might be some, you know, loop-de-loops here and there. Maybe another hill. Maybe some cool decorations. But basically, for all of us, anything we want to do is like a roller coaster. So I don't know if you've ever been to physics class, but a great way to describe these things is with potential and kinetic energy. So you know, potential energy is energy that can be spent. Like when you're going up a roller coaster, you're building potential energy. And then it turns into kinetic energy as you go down. And why am I telling you about physics? Like you're like, this is an advice video. Because the principles of physics can be applied to your life. So everybody's roller coaster of life looks different, but we all have a hill that we have to get up to. So a lot of people look at billionaires and millionaires, and what you're seeing is a person who's already gotten up their hill. Like some people might have shorter hills, you know, itty bitty teeny tiny hills. Some people might have more massive hills, but everybody has a hill that they must overcome in their life. So when you see billionaires, millionaires, like successful people, you're probably seeing them like right here, because they have already gotten up and are going down their hill. So they're past the climax, or maybe they're at the climax. So why am I talking about roller coasters? Because my point is, getting started is the hardest part. A roller coaster must exert a lot of energy to get to the top, because you know they got a pulley system to take the roller coaster up. And as the roller coaster is going up, it's building potential energy until it goes down in the form of kinetic energy. So basically my point is, if you want to get anything done, you got to build some potential energy. Because once you get past the hard part of getting up the hill, it's easy to go around. Most roller coasters, they'll like go up a hill, and then the rest of the ride around the roller coaster is mostly kinetic energy. They barely got to do anything because they already did the hard part, which is getting up the hill. And that's where a lot of people fail in life. They're not willing to do the work required to get up the hill. And that's what every rich and successful person has had to do, is to get up the hill. So I'm going to quickly draw a diagram to show you what that looks like. So what a lot of people look like is this. This right here is their car. Right there. And as you can see, the hill is right there. But you see where this person is. They are at a plateau. They want to go down the hill. But if they're not exerting any energy to push themselves across, they will never go down that hill. Like imagine a roller coaster just on the top of a plateau. There's like no pulley pulling it around. It's just on the top of there. Is it going to go anywhere? No. Another thing that happens is that some people might try let's say they got like up here. So they've already like done half of the work. And then they decide to stop. And you know what happens to them? They fall down the hill. And this happens with time. When you go partially up the hill, then you stop, you're gonna fall down. Like in real life on a roller coaster, it's gonna be a lot slower. But in your life, it's gonna be a lot slower. On a roller coaster, it's gonna be a lot faster. So what we see is people slowly falling back to their place. Or maybe what happens to them is even worse. And they end up getting farther away from their hill and making even more harder path to get up. A plateau at the bottom, so they gotta go all the way here and then gotta go all the way up. So getting started is the hardest part. And staying started is the hardest part. Once you get up the hardest part, like you've started your business, it's successful, it's easy to just go down. Take an easy ride, because now you've done the hardest part. This is what you see with a lot of these billionaires. People like Bill Gates and Elon Musk. They've already built up all this potential energy. Now they're just running on kinetic energy. Because they've already started this successful business, and now they're just like having the profits come in. They don't even gotta really be there. They just say, okay guys, do this, do that. And they take their share of the money because they already did the hard part of being a worker. So a good way to be successful is to get yourself up the hill. Like some hills are going to be taller, some hills are going to be shorter. But the point is getting yourself up the hill. So when you want to do homework, you just need to decide to go up the hill. Like it's going to be hard. A lot of people say, oh, I want to do homework. You know where they are? Up here. At a standstill. Because wanting to do something gets you nowhere. What you actually got to do is to take your car and to go up. So one thing I like to do a lot of the time is to just tell myself, okay, I'm going to do 10 problems and then I get to relax. But since by doing those 10 problems, I have built up some potential energy, I have built up my focus. It's easy for me to just go ahead and, knock out all the other problems. And then now I'm at the end. And even if you do stop on the hill, if you decide to start going again, of course you'll be backtracked a little bit, but you'll still be further than you were before you started. So basically my point is, if you want to do something, anything, you got to make up your mind to start. Getting started is the hardest part. Beginning something is the hardest part. Once you have begun and you've gotten used to it, and you've built up all this potential energy, you could just release it. And that's going to be an easier quest from there. Everybody's roller coaster looks different, but everybody's roller coaster has one thing in common. The fact that they have to start from somewhere and build themselves up. And if you aren't willing to build yourself up, you'll be like that little guy at the top of the hill. He wants to go somewhere. He can't go nowhere because he has zero potential energy. No work is being done here because this car right here is not moving. And do you know what that means? This little car's not going to go anywhere unless he builds himself a pulley and goes across. So you want to go do something. Go do it. Start right now. Let's say you want to lose 100 pounds. Of course, you're not going to lose all 100 in one day. But you got to start going up the roller coaster right now, because you're not just going to teleport to the top, Just say something easy, say something like, I'm just going to do something like really small. Like even if you say, I'm going to do one problem, Then I can go back on my phone and do whatever I want. At least you've done one problem. And you might find, oh, now I've done one problem, it's so much easier to get to the top. Because as you're building this potential energy, it gets easier as time goes on. And eventually, you get to the kinetic energy point where you're just completely running off of kinetic energy and you don't really have to do any work. So that's my word for you today. And also, if you like me doing the sketchboard thing, then put it in the comment section. Bye.